Bardella, Perini, we went through the numbers there. Democrat, Republican. Ladies first. What's your takeaway there?
I think there are a couple of things that need to be looked at there. One, you need to look at states like Pennsylvania and North Carolina because a lot of people can register there without registering to party. So there are a lot of independent voters that are coming on board now in some of these key swing states. That's the persuadable voting block we're always talking about when it comes to who you're pitching your message to. And if you're a Republican and you're seeing some of these numbers right now, if I am the RNC or the campaign, I'm going to start putting rallies in those cities and start building events around them to use them as voter registration events.
So we'll get to Florida in a second. But are you worried about this? Because I just went through hundreds of thousands in several states. Now, granted, in Pennsylvania, it still, leans Democrat on the voter rolls, but you see that? Does it concern you?
It doesn't, because I think that if the race had stayed Biden and Trump, I think that would be incredibly concerning. And I think what we've seen in these numbers is a byproduct of the dissatisfaction that we had really with both top of the ticket candidates. That's why there's so many jumps in the independents or the decline of states or the non-party affiliates. That's why those numbers are up through the roof everywhere.
Is that going to get pinned on her, though? Because you could make the argument, right, there's demographics, people moved during COVID. But I wonder how much of that is, I saw the administration and maybe I'm going somewhere else.
What I'm more interested in is the numbers that we're going to have between July, when this announcement happened that Kamala became the top of the ticket, through the fall. And everyone knows that in campaigns, the biggest voter registration pushes happen in the fall, after Labor Day. That's when you're doing the most aggressive push, where all the resources are going to identifying your voters, registering your voters, and getting them to do voter
I hope
contact.
Democrats start identifying their voters in the fall. You'll be so far behind the game. It'll be great for us.
There was a big story today out that Donald Trump's lead in Florida is just down to a handful, right?
Yeah.
And we found this instructive. So here's what's going on in Florida, right? If you look at the actual total of registered voters, that's the context in all these states, like I just mentioned with Pennsylvania. In Florida, look at the bottom there. 5.3 million, give or take, Republicans, 4.3 million, give or take, Democrats. So no matter what the polls show, that's the climb for Democrats in the state that you know well.
Well, it's really fun because Democrats, the Florida Democrat Party, put out a release about these numbers saying, there are about 866,000 Democrats that are inactive on the voter rolls but can vote on Election Day. So for Democrats, they're saying that these numbers are much tighter than they are anyways just because of inactive voters. And so, yes, this will be a tight race. It's not going to be the 19 points DeSantis won by. Mid-cycle years. Looking at 22 is different than 24. But those numbers are tighter, even according to the Democrats. So, of course, the race is going to be
Last
tighter.
word here.
Hey, you know what? I actually agree with Aaron on this. How about that? Party line. No, I agree. Florida is an uphill climb for Democrats. Florida is like this white elephant that Democrats have been chasing forever.
Right.
And it's not like they are much better Democrats. As a Democrat, much better served focusing. If you want to flip places, look at North Carolina. Don't look at Florida.
You can say that with Republicans in New York and New Jersey.
Sure. I'm from New York. We're not taking that.
I wanted to show you those numbers because we focus on the polls all the time, right? And rightfully so. DDHQ puts that out. And it makes you think about how many voters there are, what the trends and shifts are. Anyway, still to come here from the Hill on News Nation.